I don't know what I'm going to do.
We got to talk about it briefly. I mean, obviously, we're waiting pins and needles for those mega content creators like yourself.
Yes. No, you know.
If you haven't followed, you have maybe 24 hours left, Dealer Plate Guy.
Everyone is following me. I'm like, don't follow me on here. But I don't know. Like, you know, we've done the social media thing for a while.
Yeah.
But, you know, getting the account monetized 3 months ago, 2 months ago, whenever it was, and like making money from it, there's a lot more motivation to do it and to fit it into your schedule than when it's like, now I kind of have to circle the wagons and think, well, if I don't have income coming in, do I want to make income somehow, which I have some ideas?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
You know, or do I just kind of scrap it? But I almost feel stuck at this point because how do I scrap it if the platform and like content, and I'm not saying it's just me, but it's like it grew for some reason to 100,000 followers, like across Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. There's probably a reason for that. Like I probably have something here
for sure
that I can keep going with. And, you know, just the amount of messages I've gotten in support, the amount of like questions I've gotten over people like their career or what would you do in this situation?
I saw the one that you shared was
trying
like
to interview.
I just started as a service manager 2 days ago. Give me advice.
Yeah.
And it was like, think about
huddles.
Yeah, think about somebody who just started their career and was like, all right, I'm already overwhelmed and has at least an outlet to say, give me advice. Because I could only imagine and go back to 2019 when I became a general manager. My story stayed in the same dealership. I went from a GSM, from finance, from sales, all through that same dealership, never cracking the four walls, to having the opportunity to run the store. Like, I knew the problems of this store. I knew the goods, the bads, the ugly. I knew the problems that I had created. I could only imagine walking into a new facility where you don't have the trust and ownership and the leadership to go, oh, crap, maybe I'm in over my skis.
Yeah.
And somebody reaching out to you on social going, help me, Dealer Plate Guy. You're my only source. You're my only hope.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
No, but that's kind of like, well, I feel like it would be really easy for me just to stop.
Oh, without
It'd be
a doubt
really
now,
easy because now I'm like, you know, the money that I have coming in, you know, I can buy like one of those little Osmo cameras. I can buy a little podcast studio set up in my room. Like, honestly, I was going to use that extra money, like buy some gym equipment or do just whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And now it's like, what do you do? Because it does take time. Now, does it take a ton of time? Not really, but
not after you've got it. Like, again, the foundation of it.
A couple hours of filming. I have the ideas that just come and I just write them down. And then I tell Logan, usually it's like, hey, we're going to do these 5 videos tonight. Sometimes we get 4 of them done, whatever. But, you know, now it's just, I almost wish I would have done more now that when I was making money on it. But I think there's still going to be some more opportunities out there. I think there's still benefit to doing it, but I think I need to, now it's almost like the pressure's off to make money too, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Because before every video was like, man, I want to post a really good video so I make money. And I don't know.
He's rich, ladies and gentlemen. He's rich.
I'm not rich, but it is weird. Like, now, what do I do?
I mean, I think you got a platform that you got to continue to grow. And I think the reason we started any social truly was to get our names into the automotive industry to show that it's changing and shifting, that we have a different focus on it. And truly, I love, you know, the other day someone was talking to us that goes, you know, I feel like your content is tailored to people in the industry. That's 100% what our mission was. It was not to go find another customer and sell another car.
That's true.
It was to hire and staff our stores better. And for us, we truly believe that that's where we need to be. We do not think, at least in our channel, yours is a little different. You're not truly selling on that side. It's more of an education, development kind of platform. We don't believe that somebody's coming in there and making a sole buying decision because of social media. We think social media is the very top of that funnel where they get to know who you are. And then what we've seen is a huge influx of individuals coming into the store going, hey, I saw you. Hey, I know you. Hey, I actually came here because I saw some of the things you did, but it was also paired with 19 hours of research. It wasn't just, I'm buying because I saw your social. And I think that's where, for us, it's like the same spot in a much different one. We're running a business, you're running an individual account. Like, for us, we got to figure out a way to transition that to still be a voice in the industry. And I think that's part of where this podcast is going to shift into, is bringing in some different individuals into the platform where it's more leadership development, more life coaches, more business from different, maybe not even automotive.
Yeah.
To say, like, here's some of the experiences I fell into, or in my journey 30 years ago when I first started was this. And I hope we find individuals that are ahead of us on the social journey. that can say like, hey, I remember where you guys were.
Mm-hmm.
One of the highlights I think that in 2025 would be like the pinnacle for me is George Saliba. Like getting to have some type of interaction conversation in it to go, George, there had to be a moment when you're running and operating your dealership and you're doing social where everybody else is saying to you, you're so big, you're at 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
And he just continued to pour gas on the fire and continue to grow it.
Yeah.
And I'd love to pick that brain of like, when you felt like you hit the pinnacle, what was the motivation to keep going? Because for you, for us, for everything, it was to get recognition, to get monetization, to get, then you get there, you make the money, and it's like, hey, let's keep making money.
Yeah.
And then you realize like, hey, this thing's now rolling full speed downhill.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Yeah, and I think too, like with George Saliba's account, because I followed him for so long. Well, he's followed me longer on TikTok than I don't know if he follows me on the other platforms, but no, he has a luxury of recording himself work every day and just putting it out there. Well, he doesn't record himself; his film crew does. But it's really interesting because that's where I look at my platform. Like, I'm not saying it's hard to produce what I do, but it definitely takes a little more timing and a little more preparation. So I just feel like I need to. I did not think I was going to have to do this, but I think I'm going to have to pivot and try to figure out, okay, what is next for me? Like maybe it is kind of this management life stuff that, hey, as I'm learning stuff, I'm just putting it out there. Like, hey guys, here's what I'm doing. Here's the resources that I'm using. Could this help you? I don't know. A thought literally just came to me. I don't know.
Live on the podcast, raw.
Or
Behind the scenes.
or I just keep trying to do funny videos. I was telling Logan, I was like, we need to go so hard this week with TikTok because if the videos just go away, then I'm going to start making some crazy stuff.
I feel like you could go off the cuff this week.
I feel like I could do whatever I want. I can say whatever I want.
No shots after this week. Did you make a bad video? Nope, it's blacked out. Sorry, can't see it.
What is going to happen to it? Logan, do you know?
So just no updates, no.
So they still
software.
paying? They still pay creators, you think?
That's all you care about.
I mean, I'm going to get money while I get it. I will stay on TikTok, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here
Breaking
first.
news here from Dealer Plate Guy Live. So
Interesting.
I think it's a big shift. I think that will be interesting for us to kind of document in this journey is going to be keeping an update on the schedule. Obviously, who knows what's going to happen with social. The reality is this: if it does do what Vine did, where it just slowly diminished over time, someone else is going to create something that's going to draw attention. And I've even made the comment here, and of course, all my 20-year-olds and my team smashed me for this. I was like, listen, when Snapchat really grew and was massive, everybody was on Snapchat, even the people that shouldn't be on Snapchat. And I said, people have shifted away from Snapchat. And everybody said, oh, you're just so old. You grew out of it, everything. Like, Snapchat's still big. I'm not arguing that. And it's still extremely active. But it's not what everybody is investing time in trying to learn. How do I know that? Because when an app is at its pinnacle is when the people who shouldn't be using the app are starting to download the app. The moment that happens, when the 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds are starting to spend time on an app, the app has already crest the top. Because look at Facebook, right? Facebook's a prime example. My parents, 50, 60 years old, didn't touch the app until I no longer cared about the app, and then it was like the coolest thing they've ever done in their life, and still are living in it. So it's that moment of like seeing it change and everything. So like something's going to come up. It's just going to be scary whatever's next because I mean, if you remember, TikTok was 10, 15-second videos in the beginning. 30 seconds was max. I remember when they extended to a minute, we were on it trying to grow our channel. We were like, man, we could do so much more content. Now you could go as long as you truly choose to be.
Yeah.
So could the next app be something that's 10 seconds max? And then, holy cow, think about the viewership you're going to have on that.
I mean, but the thing, it's just the same thing over and over and over again. But I think that's one of the things I've learned. Like, okay, so just so the platform goes away, the things that we've learned that make a good video or the things that get views, I don't think those really change. Each platform maybe has their distinct differences of, like you'll post a video, but if you post a really good video on TikTok, it gets about the same amount of views on Instagram and the same amount of views on Facebook.
To end this is going to be perfect. We've never done this. He has no clue it's coming. If somebody's going to create a video from Dealer Plate Guy's mouth and experience, what are the 3 things you would say you have to do in a video to get the best setup? Because what we've learned is no matter how good the video is, you can't dictate outcome.
Yeah.
Like we can literally take videos from 9 months ago and repost them.
Yeah.
And the viewership may not be the same, even though it's the exact same video, exact same caption, just due to the fact of that. So like creating a video, what are the 3 things you say you must do on all videos?
the biggest question that I've learned to ask myself is someone going to watch this video because it's truly funny, truly interesting, or like I'm just going to show it to somebody and they're going to watch it just because it's me? And I think Logan and I have had to learn that of, yeah, we think this video is super funny, but is it relatable to other people?
Gotcha.
And are they going to watch it just because it's not me? So I think a couple, like strategically how you do that. First 2 to 5 minutes, there has to be a hook.
2 to 5 seconds.
2 to 5 seconds, sorry.
2 to 5 minutes.
not minutes.
Man, you're doing it different than we are.
2 to 5 second hook, you know, and the hook is a lot of different things. It's on-screen text. It's that first 2 to 5 minutes of
Seconds.
2 to 5 seconds. Why do I keep saying minutes?
You're thinking YouTube already, big dog. He's making the transition. Here it comes.
So first 2 to 5 seconds, you have the on-screen text hook. I think the biggest one that gets overlooked is the context hook of where you're at. I think there's too many people that start videos like this that they probably need to start like this further away to like view the shop. Is I've noticed that the videos that we
You mean
start,
like placement, so they know truly where you're at inside
so
the
they know
building
where
or
you're at with the
facility.
setting. So they need to know the setting, and then the on-screen text gives them a little bit of context, and then you are probably the third thing that they look at, just
Gotcha.
in terms of your voice first, and then probably in your facial expressions and your drama. And I think that's what makes a good hook. It's all of those things. I don't think you can have a truly great video without all of those things. That's why people do they do the movement up. They do the swiping, there's always something in the beginning, but, I don't know, captions and all that other stuff. I think it is what it is, but I think that first 2 to 5 seconds, if you nail that in all those categories, you probably are going to have a decent video and make it interesting enough for them to stay. So if you're not monetized, you probably want to be in the 25 to 35 second range. Don't try to make it any longer.
Yeah.
That at
Till
least
you
for
grow the
TikTok,
viewers.
that seems to be great. And then, obviously when you get over a minute video, you kind of chop it up into 3 different segments.
Yeah, which is
Of
fair.
25 to 30 seconds. And so you can change scenes. That tends to help to get people's engagement. It's hard to keep people engaged for a minute. It really is.
Oh. Yeah, and we've seen some of that of like, again, we've talked about it off air, like when you look at analytics, you're really looking for that 60% retention of a video is like a home run.
Yeah.
To hit 50 plus percent, you're celebrating that your content was not only creative, unique, but actually had a message, to your point, that had somebody enlist to more than 50% of the video. And that's kind of the point of where like what's next is going, man, if I create a minute-long video and I'm looking for 34 seconds of engagement,
Yeah.
man, what's next?
There's almost some freedom in the fact that TikTok goes away for me, because now my videos, I can go back to the 25, 35 seconds, which I honestly feel like is my bread and butter. Like Logan, would you agree? Like it was,
You miss Vine.
there were just so
Sorry.
many like great videos that we put out that were 25 to 35 seconds, because it's so much easier to capture someone's attention in that.
Yeah, and you don't
and to
feel like
keep
you have
it.
to. Yeah, you don't feel like you have to force time.
Yeah, and you don't have to kind of do 2 skits in one, which is what I feel like I do a lot of times. But no, I mean it works. I don't know. It's sad. I'm sad.
And it's a sad day here on the Driving Relationships podcast. That dealer plate guy
Oh wait,
leaves.
I can't be sad. It's not on my schedule.
It's not on your schedule, and this is the podcast that can't go any longer. So
That's right.
this is the end of it here,
All right,
guys.
See you guys.